What's up, everybody? My name is Pastor Pono. I am the pastor for the Long Beach Church, but I'm going to be your presenter for the Digital Ministry Support Network. And I'm so happy to be talking about this stuff. This is really good conversations that we can have. And so I definitely want to continue on in terms of just like allowing you guys the chance to have the same kind of information and the same kind of value that we have for all of this other content creation stuff. So today I'm going to talk to you about the 15-second sermon, and it's basically a quick guide, really quick guide for creating next generation content. It's different nowadays. The um, the entire trajectory of content creation is totally shifting, from Facebook to Instagram, and now this new thing called TikTok, which is a completely different platform altogether. And what happens with every platform, whenever they create something, whenever they do something, they're doing two different things. They are reflecting the current culture, and they're also creating the culture. And so at the moment, what we're finding is that this new generation of content consumers are going to be consuming the content similar to what's on these platforms. And so we're going to talk about it right away. 15-second sermon, a quick guide for next generation content. And so we have these two different platforms. We have TikTok and we have Instagram, and both of which are battling for the soul of humanity at the moment. And so the base content that TikTok has, the very basic content, this is what TikTok is made for, is 6 to 60 second videos, which is the sweet spot for these videos and for basically new creators, especially when you're first jumping into being a creator on TikTok. And you're kind of building up your first like 10,000 followers, basically. The sweet spot for those videos are 12 to 14 seconds. This is why I'm talking about the 15-second sermon, because right there, that sweet spot is what we're just going to try to land as best as possible for anybody who is jumping into content creation altogether. And if you are a pastor, if you are a ministry leader, these kinds of content are going to be very important, not just for marketing, but for real actual engagement. Like when people are on these platforms, they are looking for authentic and consistent engagement with the content that's on there. And so these 12 to 14 seconds goes beyond marketing itself, goes beyond drawing people into your church. It actually is a place for them to engage with the content. And that's what TikTok has been basically built for. The potential virility, which means that like how fast you can actually go viral, or even the possibility of going viral on TikTok, is actually exponential. It is super easy to go viral, or to have the potential of going viral on this platform. And the reason why we're talking about virility, the reason why we're talking about going viral, is because that's what allows your video to have that reach of evangelism that it's looking for. It's like casting that net. You're tossing a net out and you're trying to grab as many fish as possible. And so right now, in TikTok especially, is that platform where these things are going. So I'm not saying this entire presentation is not to convince you to jump onto this platform. The main thing I want you to take away from this is that over time, over the course of the next few years, I want you to be able to begin the process of creating content that's fitting for this platform or for Instagram Reels. So the second, of course, that battle or competition in the battle is the Instagram Reels. So what Instagram did, as a response to TikTok, was they created this thing called Reels. And so Reels is basically the same thing as TikTok, but for Instagram. And it's 60 to 60 seconds. And it hasn't been really released to all users yet. And the primary focus, and it's become basically the primary focus of Instagram at the moment. So if you're posting up on Instagram those photos on your feed, if you're posting up stories, at this point, those are somewhat irrelevant for actually gaining new followers. When you're posting up those things, you're actually only communicating with your current members, your current followers. And it's very likely that you're only engaging with 5 to 15%, if possibly 20% maximum of the followers that you have. And if you ever notice, the people that like your stuff, notice your likes compared to your following, and kind of know that ratio, it's likely that you're really only hitting that 5%. So when you're creating for Instagram at the moment, and just the feed and the stories itself, you're not generating any new followers, and you're not going to possibly generate new followers, because that's how Instagram built its algorithm within the last year especially. And the reason why is because they wanted to pour into Instagram Reels. They want people to actually create for this part of the platform. And so everybody who's creating content nowadays, everyone who's trying to be relevant in this situation, is actually creating those 6 to 60-second videos. And again, it's not just about marketing. It's actually about engagement. Like, when you do this, when you jump into creating content for this stuff, know that you're not just trying to draw people in. So for example, you don't want to create something that's a video for telling someone about your church service. You actually want to be in the church service video, like recording it. So the difference right there is that you're actually in the mix of it, versus telling people that they should come to this. If that makes sense, let me know. Comment below if that's possible. And so one more thing too is that I will be answering questions after this presentation, and I'm only going to take maybe another 10 to 12 minutes to present this stuff, but I do want to answer as many questions as possible. So I'm going to jump into those Q&A as fast as I can. So anyway, if you're still wondering what TikTok is, what are these 6 to 60-second videos are supposed to be, how do I wrap my head around like what this stuff is supposed to look like? Here's an example that we're going to play for you right now.
Okay, currently on a walk again. I made one of these videos yesterday, but if this is on your For You page, stop scrolling and listen to what I have to say real fast. So if you ever wonder why someone picks on you or bullies you or, I don't know, makes fun of you or something, and you don't know why, I've been through this before, so I know how this feels, but I'm going to put some suggestions maybe right there. Probably that's going to be right up on my face for a while, but
This will happen to me.
if those are one of the reasons why, I'm just here to tell you, just you be you, you know? Don't let anybody change who you are. And, try to be positive all the time. Don't be negative. No one likes to be around negative people. Just be happy all the time, and people will like you for who you are. And also, don't change for anybody.
Be happy.
Whoever sees this, you guys have a good day.
Oh, man. I have so much work I gotta do tonight. But am I gonna do it right now? No. And that's because I leave the big jobs up to future me. Now, future me is the same person as present me, but a few hours have passed. So in other words, time has gone by. Now guys, I know what you're thinking, but Danny, isn't present you the same as future you? And yeah, he is, but isn't he gonna procrastinate too? Of course he is! But if I can successfully lie to myself, I might be able to push my inevitable panic attack all the way from this afternoon to the middle of the night, when panic attacks are supposed to happen. Thanks, future me.
Should be fine, but I'm not. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. Words come over me, feels like I'm somebody else. I get overwhelmed so easily. I get overwhelmed. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. I did.
I can't do it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I'm so weak. I can't. Oh, no. No. You have to use your arms. Look how I do it. Look how I do it. That's how you do it. Try it. I'm so weak. I can't do it. I'm not gonna try it. No, you have to try it. It's important for you to try. You're strong enough. Okay, I'll try. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did it. You see, you could do it. You're very strong. Here, give me a high five.
So that is literally what a TikTok basically scrolling looks like. You have 6 to 60 seconds, but the majority of the videos that you show up on this platform are between 12 to 14 seconds. And the reason why, again, is because you want to have that quick engagement. And since people are scrolling, that is something that's really difficult. But again, I am not trying to convince you to be on these platforms. What I'd rather have you do right now is to process what it looks like to create content for this kind of or in this kind of way. And so over time, possibly when you have like this batch of videos or this batch of like just content altogether, you may want to jump into this kind of platform. And especially when it's ready for Christianity, especially when it's ready for ministry, this is one of those things that you'll already build up over time. And it's not, again, the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because it is actually very accessible to do these kinds of things, because you already have sermons. You already have things written out. It's possible that many of the pastors that we have in our churches, like they have things, they have content already ready. And so by the time you actually take that content and then you apply it to these kinds of things, it's very possible, it's very real, it's fairly easy to actually make this stuff happen. So let's go into the why just a bit more. And we have TikTok demographics. Right now, currently, the primary ages that actually exist in this are 14 to 24. That's the biggest demographic that's showing up in TikTok and in Instagram Reels, especially. You have 14 to 24 that's actually existing in this. So I think they make up between this right here. This demographic chart says 10 to 19, 32%, 10 to 29, 29%. That means mostly more than 50% of the current demographic is under 29. 30 to basically 30 plus is the next 50. But notice the difference, though. Notice that age group. You have 50% who are less than 30 on the platform, and the other 50%. This is a massive age group. This means that there are still some within their 40s, and some within their 50s that are going to be added to the platform. And TikTok is projected to actually increase its following by 1.2 billion at the end of this year. 1.2 billion basically outshines Facebook and Instagram. And so these two platforms, Facebook and Instagram, are going to be sort of the dinosaurs of the whole thing, which is fine, and that's okay. You can have these sort of you can have these systems in there, and you can have these platforms already that you're creating stuff for. But know that when you create stuff for Facebook and even Instagram at this point, especially over the next 2 to 3 years, when you create for these two platforms, you're basically just maintaining your followers. You're not going to be engaging with new followers. You're only going to be maintaining whoever you have on your platforms already. You may end up with maybe 10 people here and there 1 month, 10 people another month, but it's not going to be the exponential growth of digital evangelism that we're actually trying to look for. And so that's why this new platform is actually creating creating this completely steep curve of growth that's gonna boom. And so that's why I'm talking to you about this, is that you currently, if you were to jump on this platform, you actually have the potential of growing along with the platform itself. They are making every effort of trying to boost more followers on their platform as much as possible, while Instagram and Facebook especially are not trying to boost their following. So that means that they're not giving as much showcasing of the new content creators that are coming in on Instagram, the new content creators that are coming in on Facebook. So when somebody starts up a new account, for example, the accounts that we've been starting up over the past year, if you are a church that just started your Instagram, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually build the following and the exponential following that many of the other content creators that started this 5 years ago had gotten. So right now, TikTok is and the current way of consuming, which is that 60 to 60-second consumption, is the next wave of content consumption. And so TikTok's demographic is basically this, and it's still growing. That means that more and more and more people over the next year are going to be monthly users. This is crazy. And so another place for that I want to talk to you about is the Instagram demographics. This is what I'm talking. Right now, you have 18 to 29, 67%. You have 13 to 17, 72%. But you have, look at this, 65 plus 8%. That means that since older people are coming onto the platform, all the parents and all the kind of stuff that actually jumped onto Facebook, more parents are going to be on there on Instagram, and they're not going to be engaging with Facebook as much. So when parents jump onto Instagram, all of the young people are going to be jumping onto TikTok. However, over the next 2 to 5 years, those parents are eventually going to jump onto TikTok as well. So that migration pattern, kind of moving along with the next culture, is what's going to happen to all of this stuff. So while we see the numbers with Instagram here right now, we're actually going to see almost the same numbers for Instagram in the future, which means that if we can start building content like this now, when it comes to the future, or when it gets to the point where it's prime time for many of the churches and many of ministries to jump into this, it's like you'll have all of this stuff ready to go. Yeah, so this is the majority of the why. There's so many people over time that are going to be on this platform, or even just consuming content like this. And so for us to jump into that is going to be really important. But if you're wondering what it looks like for churches to be on there, what it looks like for a pastor to be on there, what it looks like for ministry leaders to be on there, I'm going to show you this video. It's already being done, people. It's so crazy because so many churches have actually already started to build their TikTok to the point where at the moment, the hashtag Christ has been viewed 13 million times. The hashtag Christ. Jesus boasts 85 million hits. That means that 85 million times people have gone or hashtagged Christ or Jesus on their videos. So Christian TikTok at the moment is huge. It is so prime for all of these different kinds of things going on. And so it's really important for us to be able to understand, like, this is the next wave. And since Christian TikTok is actually big, it's going to be even more big over the next year alone. So one thing to note, of course, is that at the moment, there are very few, especially Adventist content creators on right now. And the ones that have tried are doing fairly well in what they're doing. But we have good content, people. We have really good eschatology. We have really good Christology. And so these are things that we want to bring to the table, and that we can bring to the table if we were to walk into this platform, or even something similar, or even just to build content similar to it because of the way that the culture is going. And so here is an example of a pastor who is basically jumping on TikTok, who is basically creating content similar to this, and posting it up. Check it out.
As Christians, we love the verse in the Bible that says, "Go and sin no more," because it gives us the opportunity to be a little self-righteous of others, and it's also part of the underlying impetus of our belief that if we impose biblical code into civic law, it will make our country great again. But that story in John chapter 8 that we call the woman caught in adultery, we ought to call the story of men propagating an evil religious and political system. In that story, Jesus isn't angry about the woman having sex. He's angry that the system these men propagate causes a divorced woman of that day to have no other way to survive. And so he turns on them and says, you guys are the problem here. He condemns them with their own actions until they walk away. Then he turns to the woman and said, I'm going to help provide a better way for you to live. So if you want to use go and sin no more in your Christian life towards others, you first have to be willing to put your life, reputation, and job on the line for that person. Otherwise, you're abusing that passage. As Christians, we love.
So we're talking about virility right now. So check out Pastor Paul's video stats on this specific video. It's 23.4 thousand, so 23,400 views, which is basically the amount of times the video was watched. 23.4K views. 23,000 times this video is watched. 4,246 likes. That means that this is the amount of people that had an emotional connection to the video. This is where the engagement starts. When people look at your video, they watch your video, and they actually watch it all the way through. So the views are basically like they match up with a certain amount of time that you watch. So I think up to 66 to 15 seconds, if they stay within that, if you retain your views or your viewer within that time, they give you that stat. That means that people stayed to watch. They didn't scroll, they didn't pass it up, they stayed to watch. So at 4,246 likes, that means that people then thought, I can relate to this, I have a connection to this, I am being like there's an emotional being incited in me, and so I'm going to press the like button to let him know that I like this, like that he has a good video, that he has a good message. At 347 comments, this is the amount of people wanting to add to the conversation. So not only do they like it, not only do they think that this is a good video, not only do they think that this is a good message, these are the people that want to now jump into the conversation and engage in the conversation and have a discourse along with you. Or at the very least, they want to share their story. They want to share their testimony. So that means that 347 people, possible people, so you can respond to it too. But at most 347 people have come on and said, I want to engage and interact with this message. At 227 shares, that's the amount of people wanting to send it and give it to a friend. So not only did they take it and engage with it, they want somebody else, one of their friends, to engage with it too. That's 220 more people that had possibly gotten on there just not by scrolling, but by someone engaging with them. And so they will tap on that. They will watch the whole video, and they may actually like and even comment on it because of the fact that somebody else, a friend of theirs, had shared it with them that they think would be meaningful to them. So notice the meaningful content here. It's not about marketing. It's not about telling somebody to come to my church or telling somebody I am having this event. This is stuff that's actually engaging meaningfully with people. And so the last thing I want to share with us is how to do this. So this is the how-to of the 15-second sermon, and this is only the way that I do it. I'm only going to tell you how I've been coming up with ideas. I'm not going to tell you how other people, because feel free to basically use it however you want. And so this is number one: jot down your ideas. Think about some of the content you've already created in the past. Think about some of the sermons that you've done in the past. Think about the readings that you've done and the things that you've learned about certain readings, about certain Bible verses, or even if you are a ministry leader, think about some of the content that you have consumed yourself watching somebody else's video, or if you've created stuff for children, like you got stuff down already. You have this information already ready for you. You have this content that you have filmed for yourself and for your audience. And so when you take these ideas, you can actually start listing them out. I have this, I have that, I can share this, I can share that. And then you take the template and you move along with that. So the second thing to do, I usually recommend people to do, is to actually write out the script. Because when you write out the script, you see that within those 14 seconds, it's very difficult to come up with that content and stay within that range. 12 to 14 seconds, that's all you want to try to build between. And 12 to 14 seconds can go by really fast. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of content creators, even myself right now, we speak really fast, because we want to get as much information as possible into the video. But if you are a slow talker, just condense down whatever you can, but write it out so that you can see how fast and how quickly you can get through those 12 to 14 seconds and how much information you can put in there. So if you need to, condense it down real quick, make it very extremely accessible and practical for people to engage with your video. And then time your script. You want to be able to time it out. So when you write it out, you time it, and then you know how much is in there. Number 4, follow the template. So I'm going to show you a template right now, and I want you to kind of build up into it. And you can mess with this template as much as you want, but I can almost guarantee you that the template that I've researched is the template that most of these content creators have created, which is what makes the engagement happen. And then the last thing to do is to schedule your posts. The cool thing about TikTok, especially, that's really good and that rivals the others. I don't know if Instagram Reels has done this yet, but Instagram Reel or TikTok has allowed people to actually film their stuff, put all of the information in there, the captions, the sounds, and basically the caption of the description. You can do all of that and draft it so that all you have to do when it's ready to post is to just go into the app, tap on the video, and then post. It's so simple, so easy. So let's take a look at the template. The template is basically this: intro yourself or grab attention immediately. So you have 2 to 3 seconds. Every single person, every single content creator have said that you have literally 2 to 3 seconds for people to engage with your stuff, for people to be to be attentive to your stuff. If you can grab that attention between that 2 to 3 seconds, you have the next 12 seconds or you have the next 10 seconds to now retain them. So 2 to 3 seconds. Basically, what Pastor Paul does is he says, Pastor Paul, the TikTok pastor here. He introduces himself. He describes himself. This is what you're here for. So if you are somebody who wants to engage with a Christian message, know that I am the pastor that's going to speak to you right now. Pastor Paul, the TikTok pastor here. Or somebody grabs the attention. You grab immediately. This is for those who feel that they have insane road rage. So right there, that statement grabs the attention. It basically tells somebody that I have gone through, or I have an experience, and somebody is relating to me on that experience. And so at the same time, people who didn't experience road rage is going to look at this and be like, oh, I might actually have some entertainment on this because this is a funny thing. You know what I mean? So either way, you have people understanding that you have been, that this is what the video is going to be about. And so if they have interest in that topic or in that message, then they will continue to jump into your video. So then you jump into the meat, which is the retention part of it. John 3:16 says this, and you go 7 to 10 seconds of what John 3:16 says, and maybe a quick blurb about what you think John 3:16 is about, or what you've researched John 3:16 to be about. And then the last 3 seconds is you say your point. So just know God loves you. Very simple, very, very to the point. Just know God loves you. People can walk away with knowing that simple message, and they can keep scrolling, or they'll and they'll comment, thank you. Like, I really appreciate that God loves me, or I really appreciate that I needed this message today. People literally do have that kind of engagement. And so that's what you want, is just know God loves you. Simple message, I can engage with that. And then the send off, God bless you and keep you, pastor out. Very simple stuff as well. So you want to keep things within a very small amount of words, and that's it. That's it. So that's the anatomy what a TikTok video looks like, or even just a 15-second sermon looks like. Try to keep it in that way and see what you can do to create stuff like that. And so the last thing I want to say is this. Do I really need to do this now? That's the biggest question that a lot of people are asking me right now. Is this really something that I have to do? I have to start now because I can almost guarantee you that when I say some of these things, and I've talked to some of my pastor friends as well, like it becomes overwhelming to have such a steep learning curve of a new platform, of a new way of doing things. And so, do you really need to do this now? And my answer is basically this: yes and no. Yes, because if you already are interested in doing content creation, if you have been working your butt off to make sure that you are creating stuff already, you can grow quickly in the next year. No, because initially it's overwhelming, but it's manageable eventually. It is a steep learning curve, and possibly you have to learn and unlearn even your current way of sermon writing. You'll have to learn a brand new way of doing sermons. And if that's too much for you, then step away for a bit. In the meantime, though, if you say no, if this isn't something that is very meaningful to you just yet, my recommendation for you, not just pastors, but also as ministry leaders, is that to document everything that you do. So take your phone and just document whatever you're filming. Document the behind the scenes of your worship service or your worship setup. Document the behind the scenes of when you film. Document your sermon prep or your lesson prep. Document your sermon readings. Like if you have something that was really interesting to you, like document it. Let them know, like this is something that was really meaningful to me. I really loved it. And just film that really quick on your phone. That's it. Because right now, that's all most of these content creators are doing, is they're taking their front-facing camera, not their back-facing camera, not their rear-facing camera, which has all of the really good quality. Their front-facing camera, and they're filming all of that stuff, and that's all they're sharing is stuff that's meaningful to them. And so that's all you want to do. Document your Bible studies. Like it's so meaningful to do those kinds of things. So anything that you feel is valuable to you when it comes to certain bits of ministry, talk about it. Like just take a little bit of time just to say something that was really cool to you, and have that stuff built in. Have a folder of all of this material, and that's it. That's all I'm asking you to do, because I can almost guarantee you, if you do that at least, by few months from now, at the end of a few months from now, you'll have all of this content ready to go. And all you need now is somebody who can edit the videos and post them up. So that's my whole spiel about all of this. The potential evangelistic reach of this kind of, not even just TikTok itself, but actually this kind of way of sermonizing, of content creation is exponential. The growth is going to be huge. And honestly, as more people over time are losing their attention, or are having shorter attention spans, we're going to have to be relevant in that way too. And this is one of the best ways to do it. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and take any kind of questions that I can. So feel free to drop them in there as much as you can, and I'm gonna go in there. So I'm gonna try to. I see some questions over here. So it's not an advertisement, it's a window into an experience. Yes, exactly. It's really that. And window into an experience. I love that you said that, Tim, because that's truly what it is. Like when you know, so many people are watching the behind the scenes of stuff. And if you notice, many people who are streaming, and who even watch, like, look at your kids and what they watch on YouTube. Like they watch people playing games. Like why do you watch somebody else playing a video game? You know what I mean? Why don't you just play the video game yourself? Well, it's because some of these people are actually really they're professionals at this stuff, or they're doing it for a living. So it means that they're dedicating hours and hours of time to make this stuff happen, and it's very meaningful to them. So what happens is the kid or anybody else who's watching this stuff is actually having an experience alongside with them. So living vicariously through people, especially on the internet, has become so much more prevalent than ever before. So that window to the experience is really, really important. Um, Super Me is my superhero. I love that you guys are engaging with that content, and shout out to Newbury Park Academy, man. You guys did such a great job on those videos. We need to bridge the gap. Truth, uh, like made before 15 seconds don't count as a like. Likes made before 15 seconds don't count as a like. They do count. If you like a video, like it's gonna count as a like no matter what. What I'm saying is the views. So if your video is about 60 seconds long and there's a certain amount of time that people have watched, like a percentage of the time, they have to go past a certain percentage of the time to count as a view. So if it's a 15-second video, it's about 6 seconds, I think, that they watch, or maybe 7 to 8. They haven't released exactly what that percentage rate is, but they have to be able to watch the video for a very specific amount of time for the view to count. So that means that when a view is on there, it means that they've watched. It's likely that they've watched the video all the way through. So yeah, so it's more about the video of the view than it is about the like. But the likes, the shares, the comments, every single bit of that actually helps people to further their growth. So our be brief. Yep. That's Danny. That's exactly like the best thing to take away from all of this is actually just to start creating brief content. That's so true. So all TikTok videos in the vertical format, like Facebook and Insta Stories, are some in square format. Some are in the widescreen or square format, but the app itself is actually built for the portrait experience. Um, and it's likely that, like, same thing with Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels is kind of moving towards that as well. So the experience, I actually project that, and this is just my own projection. I actually do project that in the next 5 years, we're going to be seeing more experiences that are developed and designed for portrait experience more than it is on the wide experience. The more professional stuff are going to be on the widescreen experience, but the more organic stuff is going to be the portrait experience. So I can get into that a little bit more if you want to talk about the organics versus professional as well. Also, I can share that with you if you have any more questions and want to email me. Yep. I think that's all the questions that we have here. And yeah, man, I took a long time actually. I think I was supposed to do this for about 15, 20 minutes and I ended up having too much information. But here's another thing you guys can do too. If people are interested in, and if somebody is watching this retrospectively as well, feel free to reach out to my Facebook, my Instagram, or even just email. I'm happy to share any of the information that I've received. On my personal account on TikTok, I actually did in 5 weeks get my my TikTok to my following to 10K, which is really which is an interesting kind of feat. And the reason why is because I've been doing Instagram for such a long time, and the growth was the furthest I ever got on my growth was 3K. Or 3,500 now, I think. But 10,000, the fact that I got 10,000 in 5 weeks is really, really crazy. It speaks, again, this is more about the platform and the way that people are consuming content now than it is about any content that I'm creating. And that's the truth. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask me, to reach out to me on my Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my email in this comment right now, and so feel free to jump in the chat and email me anytime. Anyway, yeah, thanks for having me, everybody. I really appreciate that you're engaging with this. If you are a content creator, I commend you. It is tough. It is a steep learning curve, but you are doing honestly, anything that you were doing to create content, you are amazing. And so just keep it up, keep it going forward, and try your best to just keep on learning over time. All right, everybody. Have a good week, man. I'm hoping that your content is going to be blessed throughout all of this. Peace.